tonight's theme, I've been thinking about it for a little while. I wanted to do a stream where I focus just on the theme decks. You know, Pokemon is pretty popular these days. You just have to look at Facebook or Twitter to see what kind of effect Pokemon, and especially Pokemon cards these days, is having online. So for a lot of people, their exposure to the Pokemon trading card game is purely from a collecting sense. And I feel like the Pokemon trading card game online is kind of like a really good gateway into learning how to play the game. Having a game where all the rules are governed by the game itself, like you don't have to read the rule book, you can just jump in and click cards and put them on the virtual table and just learn to play that way through trial and error, and have something that feeds back to you like, hey, you're doing the correct thing, or you can still do this, or you can't do that, etc., is really good. So what I thought I'd do is, for the audience of people who are just starting out with the game and kind of want to be able to play in this free-to-play environment that the game provides you and try and do a bit better in the theme deck meta, I thought I'd take a look at one of my favorite decks for that metagame, this one here, the Soaring Storm deck. So whenever people ask me how to get better at the beginning, or what can they do as a new player, they've just signed up to Pokemon.com, they've downloaded PTCGO, which is what we're looking at here. What can they do? Well, my suggestion is to save up your coins, these tokens here, this currency, and then once you get 500, purchase this theme deck. So you go here, okay, the shop, the virtual shop, and you head over to decks, you scroll down a little bit, and you've got Soaring Storm here. So this is a Sun and Moon series deck. I'm not sure what year it was released, but it feels like it would have been a 2019 release at this point. So theme decks tend to get muscled out a bit. Like, the further you scroll down in this list of theme decks, the less powerful these decks end up being. Okay, and so you've got this deck, which I feel like is still quite in the middle of all the strengths that you want from a deck. You want a deck that has powerful attacks, that's easy to set up, and has a lot of options. You know, and I think that the Dragonite Unified Minds theme deck is quite good in that respect. So let's have a look at what this deck is. What I'm going to do actually is copy it to the clipboard there, and we'll put it into the deck manager so we can actually expand it out. Alright, so this is what this theme deck looks like, right? So what have we got? It's all about this thing here, Dragonite. It does a lot of damage, that's great. It has a lot of HP, that's really good too. This ability is sort of what really makes the deck so good. So once during your turn, you can attach a water energy and a lightning energy, or one of each from your hand to your Pokemon any way you like. So if you've got a lightning and a water, you can attach them to your Pokemon in any way you like. And that's actually a good thing to keep in mind. You could go, I'm going to put a lightning here, and I'm going to put a water energy over here. Or you could put two on the one Pokemon. Or you could attach just one of those. You know, so you could see in that practice game that I was doing before, I was using this ability to only attach a lightning energy, so I could then take another energy from hand and attach it manually because I needed to put two lightnings on the lantern. So energy acceleration traditionally has been quite a powerful strategy. In a theme deck metagame, this is quite a luxury to have access to. And also, Pokemon tend to have 170 HP or less if they're going to have that much HP. So I can't think off the top of my head any Stage 2 Pokemon in the metagame that have more than 170 HP. Maybe there is in the Sword and Shield theme decks, I'm not too sure. But anyhow, so there's that Dragonite. We take a quick look at the Dragonair. You've got some energy denial business that you could do with the Dragonair, but it's quite an expensive attack, and likely what your opponent's going to do in a theme deck meta is just send Pokemon up to get knocked out so that they can then go and knock out the Dragonair. Investing 4 energy into a Dragonair just for it to get knocked out likely in one hit by one of their mid-tier threats is probably not fantastic. So it would have to be a very interesting game state for me to consider wanting to use Destructive Whirlpool. Still, it's an option to keep in mind, so just remember that. And then Dratini with Aqua Lift is interesting. It lets you have effectively free retreat, but you do have to invest a water energy at some point to gain access to it. So that is the cornerstone of the deck. But one of the things that really makes this deck is the group of Pokemon that surrounds that ability, which can really take advantage of it. Probably two of the stars of the deck is the Tornadus and the Thundurus. So these two have attacks that play off having the other Pokemon on the bench. So this one does 80 and then 20 damage spread to your opponent's Pokemon. This one does 50, excuse me, 20 and 50 more with Thunder Scale if you have Tornadus on the bench. So fairly powerful effects for what they are. This one, being able to do 70 damage for 2 energy is quite good on a Pokemon that can survive a lot of attacks with 120 health. There's a lot of value to be gotten out of this Thundurus, with just, itself being 1 card and then 2 energies attached to it. Raging Thunder can be quite good too. You've got to play around this drawback with Raging Thunder, but you just spread the damage onto the Pokemon that don't really matter after a certain point. So if you happen to have a Grimer on the bench still, put damage on that, or perhaps put the damage on the Pidgeotos. It's the Pokemon that are going to be in the active spot that you want to keep healthy. And then Thunderous Tornado is quite important to be able to get off, because it effectively reduces the max HP of your opponents to a point where you start looking like you're able to score knockouts with things like Lightning Strike with Lantern. Speaking of which, Lantern is another very good Pokemon in this deck. The ability Energy Grounding lets you preserve the amount of energy that you have in play. So it can be good while you're trying to get the Dragonite online, for example. And then Lightning Strike itself is quite a powerful attack. 140 damage is quite a lot for a Stage 1 Pokemon, so very good. And then one of the other stars of this deck is just having access to this Pidgeotto. Drawing cards is really important in Pokemon. Drawing cards every turn can be quite powerful. Airmail, the longer you've got this Pidgeotto in play, the more value you're getting out of it, and you just keep seeing more and more cards, and it makes this deck more and more consistent over time. So looking at top 2, picking one and putting the other to the bottom of your deck, not only are you getting cards into your hand, you're also filtering cards that you don't want to the bottom, so that the cards that you draw off the top are much better. So there's some things to keep in mind, like you don't want to put a bad card to the bottom and then do a search which shuffles the order of your deck. Maybe you want to keep things like that in mind, but quite a minor thing. Very, very rare that would be like a game winning or game losing situation, but maybe if you're down to like very few cards left in deck, that can be quite a significant thing. And then you've got a really good lead Pokemon here with the Alolan Grimer as well. Collect, draw 2 cards. It shouldn't be understated how powerful that can be from the get-go. Not having to invest energy, but being able to draw 2 cards. On your first turn, if you can search out the Grimer and then attach like 1 energy to whatever's active, especially if it's this Dratini, which doesn't have to discard that energy if it has water attached. And then, if you're going second, you can collect straight away. So, very interesting. You've got a good array of trainers here too. Fairly good, to be honest. Pokemon Communications, good for setting up the cards that you want. You've got a range of draw supporters. You've got Fan Club to help you set up basics at the beginning. Tate and Liza is quite valuable. It gives you a switching effect, which can be quite good playing against things that look to stall with paralysis and stuff like that. You got Fisherman as well, put energy in your hands, quite good in the later stages of the game when you've got access to Dragonite and you've been through a fair amount of energy. And you've got the split of Lightning and Water, so I think it's important to keep in mind that there's more Lightning than Water in the deck, although the deck needs access to both. So you know, just be a bit more considerate with the water energies when you're looking to attach them to your Pokemon in play. And now that I've been through it a bit, head into events. Theme deck, we're gonna sign up. So you gotta use your theme deck, you gotta use your tournament tickets. So you can see there it just subtracted 4 from my max amount. Ooh, the tournament's starting. So here we go, round 1, and there's that Galarian Fetched deck. That deck has Beatty and Turbo Patch, so that's what we'll keep in mind. We would like to go first. I think even if we can draw 2 with Grimer, going first is quite valuable here. So I'm inclined to put the Pidgey active because I want to collect. So one of the utilities of the Pidgey is that it has collect, just like a Alolan Grimer. It's not as good, but getting 1 card deeper can mean the difference. We'll bench this Dratini right away. We've got more lightning than water in hand, and we know that we have more lightning energy in the deck than water, so we can afford to attach this here. And then we can't do anything because it's turn 1. Because this says fighting resistance, Rock Smash will do at most 20 damage, so we're not too worried. Attach and pass. Bearing that in mind as well, the optimal play probably would have been to attach to Chinchou rather than the Pidgey, but we'll see. Okay, so that was a little bit annoying. Pierce does 10, so our Pidgey is living, I think. I want to touch the lightning energy here, but I'm not thrilled about it. But I don't think we have much choice, because Dratini is not really going to be doing very much. Another Dratini. This could end up being a really anticlimactic video if I lose right at the start. So Pierce still caps out at what? 20. So we're still living. We get 1 more collect off. We're going to attach the Chinchou again here. So we're going to energy Tantalizer to play with. Bench the Dratini. Shuffle and draw. I think we just bench the Pidgey and then collect here. Mud Bomb is a bit worrisome. Double Stomp. It's not likely to get powered up. I also need to play towards a few different things. I really need Tornadus in this matchup. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna collect. I'm a bit worried, but you know, it be what it is. Pierce gets a knockout here. We're gonna have to play for the Lantern here. Okay. So we'll do the sure thing here. Do this first. What we're trying to do is play our hand down as much as we can. I'm gonna play an energy. Like this. We're gonna energy recycle system. and put this card back into the deck. So we kind of wasted that secondary effect there, shuffle 3 basic and put it into your deck. But the point is to get the card out of our hand and not add another card back to our hand, which is what the first effect would do. Because we want to draw more cards with Lily. We don't need energy, we need other cards. Thunderous is okay. Next turn I can Fan Club. Maybe. In any case, we gotta do this. Lightning Strike. Discard all the energy and knock out the Surf Fetch. So that wipes 3 energy off my opponent's board. And our opponent decides to promote Hippowdon. Now, there is a world where this Hippowdon can triple smash this turn. But looks like our opponent has promoted Hippowdon and attached to the Dugtrio on the bench. So that's ideal. That's ideal for us. I don't want to Howl, because I really want to attach to Tornadus this turn. So I'm going to Fan Club. We'll have a look at our deck. So we do not have Pidgeotto at all in the deck by the looks of things. Oh no, wait. Sorry. Yeah, we do. I thought it would be next to Pidgey. Alolan Grimer is an option too. We could just like draw and punish our opponent for putting the Hippowdon up. But I think that Tornadus equally will punish our opponent. Oh, we get 2 to put in our hand. We'll grab a second one. Why not? Tornadus. Attach a water energy, because it's a Pokemon that doesn't rely on lightning energy, so we'll use the water there. And we'll say done, because there's not much else we can do. Now that we've thinned by a couple of basic Pokemon as well, how we'll have a better chance of hitting what we want. Okay, Bird Keeper is not something I was expecting. But that's okay. We don't mind too much. Okay, so our opponent chose to end turn. Very strange. Let's Howl. Just guarantee the 3 cards rather than going for the chance of 4. We get Dragonair. Evolve up. And then we'll attach a Lightning here just to keep an even split of energy in our hand. And then we'll pass. So, if our opponent doesn't dig, that's good. Our Lantern gets knocked out, of course, which is unfortunate. Okay. Catch and miss. Tornadus comes out, and now it's powered up in time. So, we're going to Bug Catcher here first, because it's the one unknown quantity in this current game state. So we'll play it. I need to pick up the pace a little bit with my play as well, because our time's ticking down. I sort of want to attach... Actually, I don't need to play anything to the board. We'll keep this bench spot open, and we'll go Thunderous Tornado and start softening up our opponent's board. So something I want to mention is that in theme deck tournaments, it's really important, just as much as it is in like any format, it's really important to think about the sequence of your plays and just like try and eke out those percentage advantages. Stonejourner. Power Press could be quite troublesome. It's definitely going to knock me out if it gets to attack with that. Okay, so we grabbed the Dragonite in time. Now I'm wondering here if I should go for a second Lantern or not. No, probably not. I think Tornadus is quite important here. Dragonite. We'll Fisherman when we can max out on the the effect. So there's only 3 energy in the discard pile so far. So we'll just wait. We'll Fan Club here just to thin the deck a little bit. I think we'll grab these 2. Probably the most relevant. And then we'll Tornado again, and that'll soften up these Pokemon even more. Put Stonejourner in Thunderous KO range as well. There's no other cards I can play, and I'm definitely going to attack with Thunderous Tornado, getting the damage spread once again. Dragonair from the prizes is quite good. It lets us set up a second Dragonite, or puts us one step closer to it anyhow. So it's really important as well to read these cards from top to bottom. Read all of them. You know, think about the HP, think about the damage it's doing, think about its weakness and resistance and retreat cost. Think about all of it. Any energy in the discard pile? Still 3. So we're going to evolve. I'm going to keep this lightning energy in hand because you just don't know what your opponent's going to do. And I don't want to strand myself without options. I don't need to have 3 energy on this Tornadus yet. So I'm just going to keep it in hand for now. And we're going to go Thunderous Tornado. And that's going to be a knockout on the Pissimian as well. Both of these Pokemon are quite susceptible to knockout now. Power Press is going to do a lot of damage, but we're not too fussed. We're not too worried. The only thing that would ruin my day here is a catcher. So I'm going to put out Thunderous now. Oh, I've been neglecting this Pokemon communication. I'm not sure when it entered my hand, but I should have done something with it sooner. I'm going to Calm here as well and put the Dratini away. Just keeping an eye on the clock as well, and I'll probably just stop speaking a little bit more. I'm going to put a Thunderous on the bench here to... Oh, I could put Chinchou down. Chinchou might be alright too. Higher damage output potentially. But then I want... yeah, I'll put Chinchou down, that's better. We'll go... Oh, we need to use Fisherman here. Don't play Howl. So we'll play Fisherman. We'll grab an even spread of the energy. And then we'll Hurricane Charge. And then we'll attach a regular Lightning Energy here. And we'll use Raging Thunder. And we'll put the damage on Chinchou. I think that's fine. I kind of want the Pidgeotto to be healthy. It has fighting resistance, so if we want to use Pidgeot for whatever reason, it's good. It's okay. We don't need to make too many decisions at this point. It's fairly locked up with the way it's playing out now. Turbo Patch. That's a fail. So now I'm just going to attach here and retreat, discarding 1 energy. I should have used ML first. Take the lightning energy. And we'll just soften things up one more time. I didn't really want to use... maybe I should have used Raging Thunder there to take the KO and put my opponent down to, you know, next prize wins sort of situation. So, but that's fine. We're playing it out a little bit slow. Not knocking this out means that my opponent, you know, has to attach to the bench and then not get to attack, and then I get to soften things up a little bit more. We'll attach a Lightning Energy here now, just to lock things up a bit more. We'll play Howl, draw some cards. Lots of energies in hand. We'll play ML. We'll grab Bug Catch. I'll take the Water Energy just in case. Okay, so my opponent conceded. They weren't interested in playing out the rest of the game because that was a pretty locked up game state at that point. So yeah, we took down the Sirfetch'd deck. So that worked out well for us. Hopefully we don't have to wait for too long. There's a few different cards that would help, but the problem is you can't piece the deck together very well without targeted search. So I think this must be a Charizard themed deck with the Charizard coin. We want to go first, of course, being an evolution deck. Put our opponent a turn behind. Thundurus is a good opener here. And then we'll put Pidgey on the bench. Okay. Slugma in the lead. It's interesting. Don't know if I agree, but sure. We'll play a Water Energy here and then pass. There's not much to do on the first turn. You can't play supporters, so just make sure you get your basics that you want into play. Okay, it looks like my opponent is going with the strategy of feed the Slugma and attach to the Lugia. It's a bit scary, to be honest, because that's quite a strong Pokemon. Here we just go with Howl, because we don't want to draw only 2 cards here. I'm going to play Pidgey. I think what I'm going to do here is retreat. Attach a Lightning here, and then use Collect to draw more. Grab another Pidgey. So that was alright. And we didn't want to top deck that Pidgey. We do have Bug Catcher in hand though, so... Okay, so we don't really mind too much about that. We want a Bug Catcher here, because that's our only draw supporter. Tails, so we only draw 2, which is a shame. But we do get Pidgeotto. So I'm not going to evolve the active, because I think I want to leave it there to get knocked out. Let's go Airmail. Grimer. Okay, I changed my mind now. Now I wanted it to get knocked out. So, but that's a very difficult thing to try and play for or play around. I'm going to bench the Grimer here. Attach a Water to the Thundurus, and then we'll end. So, attaching to the Thundurus, just to give it the opportunity to retaliate if the Lugia attacks first. We wake up, which is good timing. First of all, we want to Airmail, because that's the one uncertainty. Fan Club is good. Thins our deck a little bit. Also gives us access to Tornadus just in time. So we're going to grab that, and we're going to grab a Dratini. Dratini is important for our strategy, of course. Tornadus on the bench, Dratini on the bench. We'll attach a Lightning to the Tornadus, because we want access to Thunderous Tornado as soon as we can. We'll retreat the Pidgey, because we do actually want to keep it in play for the future. For now, we're just going to collect, and this is a stronger collect than the Pidgey, so being able to draw 2, it's like attacking twice with Pidgey. It's very good. So they're working towards retreating by the looks of things. Energy Loop is going to knock out the Grimer. But now the Lugia is going to get knocked out. It's not very... I don't know. I don't think I agree with that play. So it's weak to Lightning. All we do is attach a light. Oh, before we do that, we will do whatever else we can. Now, Bug Catcher draws more than Airmail, so I'm going to play Bug Catcher first, just so I can see the maximum amount of cards before we commit to Airmail. Take the Dragonite, of course. Get to play it next turn, which is quite good. Not having another Pokemon to bench at the moment kind of sucks, but that's just the world we live in. We have an odd number of Water Energy, or just like a disproportionate amount, but we do need the Lightning Energy on this Thundurus eventually if we want to use Thundering, what's the attack called? Raging Thunder. So here, I'm okay with the way that this hand looks at the moment and our bench. We don't want the third Pidgey. That starts to play against us because it means that we can't bench other Pokemon. That really is not good at this point in the game, unfortunately. So, looks like our opponent's going to use Yawn. If we don't wake up, we have Tate and Liza, but we do wake up, so that's good for us. Chinchou, very good timing for that to appear. Dragonite comes into play. Touch of Water Energy. We're going to Thunderous Gale for the knockout. Yeah, the energy loop from before seemed like it was a bit of a waste. I would have just kept on with Slugma. But never mind. We wake up again, which is quite fortunate for us. Let's airmail, see if we can work towards that second Pidgey. Pidgeotto. Or How here. Draw 3. Keep adding to our hand. Evolve the Chinchou, so when Thundurus gets knocked out, we get to retain the lightning energy and preserve it a bit. I'm going to keep these energies in hand because extra options is always good, and we can effectively play 3 energy a turn, so we might as well keep the 3 in hand that we do. It's looking pretty ordinary for our opponent here. Might have been a brick, so yeah, unfortunate for our opponent, but that's kind of part of the strength of Soaring Storm, because we didn't have a fantastic start either. We had to filter through our deck a bit using Collect with Pidgey and then Collect with Alolan and Grimer. Without those 2 Pokemon, we could have bricked just as hard. And it could have looked just as bad for us. So, okay, we're playing against the Charizard theme deck again. I think? Yeah, it just says Charizard. So we call Tails. So this looks like a rerun of our last matchup. We're going first again, lucky us. Put pressure on. Tornadus is pretty good to start with. Provided that it can survive long enough. Going first certainly helps. Here, I'm definitely going to Pokemon Communication. I kind of want to keep the Dragonair just to evolve ASAP. And, well, I don't know. I don't know what's greedier here. Alright, we'll do it like this. We'll get rid of the Dragonair. And we're going to take the Pidgey. There's nothing out of the ordinary prized, I think. There's nothing like... Uh-oh. Wait. Okay, so one of our Tornaduses is prized. That's probably something to keep in mind. And one of our Chinchous. Not Chinchou, Lantern. So we'll grab this. Bench it. Lightning Energy. Nothing else. So, and we can't attack because turn 1, pass. So this Farfetch has Collect. It's quite good. Tool Buster is not a very relevant attack for us to worry about. Okay, so this is the different Charizard deck. Yeah. I forget how this one works. I haven't gone back to look at it. So, Bugcatcher is probably the biggest unknown here. We only draw 2. Feels bad. Pidgeotto lets us draw a 3rd. Samuel. Grab Pidgey. So I'm a little concerned here, but I do think that Tornadus will survive. Because this is the team... it's a team up Charizard deck, yeah. So it's not like the Farfetch'd is about to evolve, right? So we'll just Knuckle Punch here. And that'll be it for that turn. Now hopefully we draw into something that lets us hit the Thundurus. But it all comes down to 1 top deck and then 2 cards off airmail. Well, you know, 1 of the 2 cards off airmail, so we'll see. So what's it going to be? Rapidash. Okay. Pokemon Communication, maybe? No. Alright. So there's a Lily. I will attach the Lightning here. And we're going to Lily. We're not going to play the Pidgeotto down. Okay, we didn't get the Thunderous like we wanted, but we will get access to it very soon. Oh, although, Airmail. Yes. Yep, and I think that's worth. So we'll Pokemon Communication, Pidgeot. We get the Thunderous, so we get it just in time. And now we're Thunderous Tornado and soften up the bench while we're at it. Fantastic. You miss Cynthia. We'll get Shauna soon. Not as good, but similar. So here's this Nidoqueen. I love this Nidoqueen. Queen's Call is a fantastic ability. But I don't know if our opponent's going to be able to attack with it. So our opponent, it looks like our opponent's strategy is just to wait on the Nidoqueen while setting up the rest of the Pokemon in play, using Queen's Call to evolve things. Okay, switch. And we're going to collect. Okay. Tornadus is going to put in a lot of work here as our bench damage. We'll evolve because, of course, we want to evolve. I think that I want a fan club here just to thin our deck a little bit. We'll evolve here too. And yeah, we're going to thin. We'll take Dratini and we'll take Chinchou. And then we'll Airmail. So we've taken 2 cards out of our deck. Airmail to put us, 2 cards closer to whatever it is we need in this situation. I think we take the Lily. But it doesn't feel good to take that one. But we already have a Dratini in hand, so we'll take the Lily here. And then the Lightning Energy can just be... we'll put it on the Lantern, I feel like. Yeah. Because if the Charizard comes out next turn, then the Lantern can dispatch it. So there's nothing else to do here, so we just Thunderous Tornado and keep softening the bench. So now we're 2 prizes ahead, which is good. We've got our Lantern out of the prizes, so if a bench spot frees up, we can look to set up a second Lantern. It's good for the mid game while we're working towards Dragonite. So it looks like the opponent is favoring the Nidoqueen, which might be good for a turn, but... Okay, so Furious Resolve. Okay, it powers itself up in 1 turn at the cost of HP. Okay. So we're going to take the energy. It goes onto the Lantern. So we're going to think ahead a little bit. It only has 120 health, so Thunderous can knock that out, potentially. So I'm going to go Lantern here. Oh, actually... So... But yeah, the Thunderous has no energy on it, so it's going to be the Lantern. The Lantern is something I can definitely play this turn. I'm going to play another Chinchou down. Put the Lightning Energy here. Oh, shoot. So what we could do is not discard our energy, because this Charizard will need to be powered up manually if our opponent wants to do anything with it. It's a Lily. I wanted the flexibility of keeping this energy in hand at the cost of drawing one less card. That's why I didn't play it there. Just depending on what sort of cards I hit there. Alright, we're going to airmail. Take the water. And then we'll use the water energy here. And this lets us preserve like one lightning energy, which is okay at this juncture. So let's go like this. Let's do it like this. Lightning strike. And we will discard everything. Just to put our opponent a little bit more on the back foot. It's just a little bit more. Fisherman. Fisherman is good, but we really need Dragonite. We really need Dragonite. If I was able to evolve the Lantern last turn, I would have tried to go for the 2-hit KO instead. But what I was afraid of is my opponent switching to the bench and then powering it up slowly. So this will be enough to knock me out. It's going to do exactly 110, I think. Power Lariat? Yeah. So Thundurus survives it, unless my opponent gets another evolved Pokemon in play, which is quite easy to facilitate with 2 Nidoqueens. So what we're going to do here is put Thundurus active and hope that we hit Dragonite. Out of 29 cards, it's very unlikely, but that's just what we have to do here. So, airmail. Wow. Wow. So we hit the Dragonite just in time. And you know, I mean, that looked very lucky, and to be honest, it is, but we would not have created the opportunity to do that without having access to airmail and then, you know, getting ourselves one card at a time closer and closer to what we needed to be able to facilitate the turn upcoming. So Dragonite active, Dragonite evolve. Look at our cards in discard pile and we'll Fisherman. And grab 3 lightning and the water energy. Okay. We're going to Hurricane Charge. Lightning and a water. Take the lightning and put it here as well. We'll evolve to the Lantern. Put a Dratini down. No, I don't need to. I'm going to put the damage on the Pidgey. Alright. Hi there, Neo. I'm not talking to chat too much because I'm recording a bit for YouTube, but thank you for dropping in and saying hello. I hope you stick around. We're in the finals of a tournament, theme deck tournament, so we're just making sure that we do everything correctly here. What I'm going to do is Raging Thunder, and I'm actually going to put the damage on the Lantern because the amount of health that it has is a little bit less relevant. I'm just a bit wary about putting these two in range for any kind of snipe effect, like, you know, do 10 damage to the bench or 20 damage or what have you, so I'll just put it on the Lantern for now. And we're getting close. We're getting very close to winning. That Timer Ball, while it's a good effect, unfortunate that it was the double tails there. Would have been good to thin the deck a little bit more before playing Kukui. Could have also used Queen's Call there to put themselves 1 card extra further into the deck. But instead they whiffed their turn there, which is unfortunate for them. So here, oh, it looks like we got a Tornadus off the prizes, which is nice. for us. I'm going to use How here to draw, just to see what we get. We get a second Pidgeotto, which is super nice. Now, AML 1. We're going to grab the energy, because the energy is pretty important at this point. AML 2. We'll grab the Bug Catcher. And so here, I like the idea of attacking the Tornadus. The reason for that is that Thundurus is not one-shotting the Nidoqueen, and we get more value out of attacking with Tornadus because it does damage to the bench. So what we're going to do is attach a Lightning Energy here, and we'll use Hurricane Charge. And then we'll retreat, discarding 1 Lightning, and then we'll use Thunderous Tornado. No, I don't believe... Lantern would one-shot, yes, but I'm happy two-shotting at this stage. But very good point, it would have one-shot. It's just that then I wouldn't have a follow-up to deal with the Charizard. So if my opponent doesn't have any kind of switching effect, we're in good shape. My opponent has a switching effect. So it looks like they're going to play for agility, which is a really good strategy in this position, I think. It makes it so potentially I don't do any damage this turn. But it looks like they failed the flip. We're just going to double check. Flipped 1 tails, yep. So Tornadus is looking good. We're going to Bug Catcher here because that's one thing we're not too sure about. We're going to AML. We're going to speed up our play just a little bit because I'm running out of time. Take the energy. The energy is what we want here. Hurricane Charge. Put on the Dragonite. And that kind of like GG's our opponent a bit. We'll attach a Water Energy here. And then we're just going to go Thunderous Tornado. And so now this is a super rough spot. I think like you basically don't have any lines of play that really work. Like I can just attach an energy here and then knock out the Charizard. I suppose our opponent hopes that we somehow don't have the energy remaining. Maybe if this deck ran Catcher or something, I'm not really sure on the deck list. You could try and stall, but it doesn't really achieve much. So here we just go Dragonite. Touch the Lightning Energy, hit him with the Well Played, and then we Dragon Impact. Whew. And then we'll discard these energy and hit done. And GG. So that's Dragonite. Soaring Storm. It's a very good deck. It has a lot of options throughout all stages of the game that you want. The problem with a lot of these other decks is that they're a bit too simple in the way that they're created. Now, there's no... I mean, I say there's a problem with it. There's no problem with having simple theme decks when you've got newer players that are trying to learn the game for the first time. A deck that doesn't overwhelm you with options is probably a really good thing to have. A deck that's very straightforward. You've got one mission, which is to power up my Zacian or power up my Charizard or whatever. You know, having decks that work that way exist is probably a good thing to cater to newer players that sort of don't know what they're doing so far, or trying to understand how to play the game. But if you're looking to make the next step and perhaps think about the game on a bit more of a complex level, Soaring Storm, I really can't understate how good that deck is. So look, there you have it. If you're watching this on YouTube, please, you know, hit me with a subscribe. I also stream several times during the week. Stream a few different things. Pokemon cards is one of my things. You would know if you're watching this on YouTube. I do a lot of Pokemon card stuff, so if you're not subscribed, please do. I'd really appreciate it. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this breakdown of the Soaring Storm theme deck. And you know, if you decide to pick it up and give it a go, please just let me know how you go. What do you think about the deck? And what maybe you can suggest what other decks are really good in the same vein. So anyhow, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next Pokemon video.